Hey, everybody. Welcome to another Catch-Up with Mayo, Saturday, July 12th, 4 o'clock p.m. And I'm here to just hang out with you for a little while. Okay, and hope you'll be joining me. Right now, we've got a couple of people who have joined us already, made comments. So I'm ready to go. I got my cup of water here to see me through. All right. James, how are you? We got James Farley standing by. Martin Bench, who reminds us that there's a heat alert here. It's summer. Deal with it. Get over it. I'll tell you the truth, though. I always say how I love the summer and I don't mind the heat, and I don't. However, today I stopped by my record store, and when I went to the record store, the air conditioning was broken. So they didn't have any air conditioning in there. And let me tell you, while I was hanging out there, I stayed there, I don't know, about an hour and a half, maybe. They had somebody working on the air conditioning unit. So eventually the air came on. But even though I like the heat, it was really deadly in there. It was humid. You couldn't breathe. It was difficult to breathe inside the store. But if you went outside the store, we have a day here that's partly cloudy, partly sunny today. So you had a little bit of a breeze. So if you actually went outside, it was more pleasant than it was inside the store. So anyway, that's just a little note. Hello, George, Music for All Four Seasons. How you doing? Thank you for joining. And hello, Paul. Thank you for saying hi. And Douglas also. And Day Tripper. And also John, how are you? So, I'm just, I don't know, having a pretty routine kind of Saturday. Very much into my new channel that I have. I'll be promoting that new channel. It's my channel about retirement, about life in general, about living life, about experiencing things, the world, and stuff like that. Thoughts, musings, ideas, feelings about living. And I hope you'll all check it out if you haven't already. I hope some of you may join. I'm doing pretty well. The subscribers are already going up because a lot of you, of course, have come over there from here, gone over there from here. And that is greatly appreciated, more than you can know. So I thank you for that. And I'm looking again at my banners here. I have different titles all the time for this, so I'm not going to really talk too much about that, except to say that the name of the channel right now for today, it's going to change. It's going to change in about 4 days. I have another title in mind, but for now, if you want to go over there, just type in "Thank God It's Monday." That's the name right now, and that's going to change. Okay. Hello, Laura. Thank you so much for joining us. Hello, Robbie. Thank you. Good afternoon to you. Good seeing you as always. Oh, what's your favorite Andy Garcia film? Now, that's an interesting actor because I don't really know a lot. But when you say Andy Garcia, the first thing I think of is Godfather 3. And I'm wondering if there were any other big films starring Andy Garcia that I don't know. You know what I mean? Are there any other films? So, let's see. I just have to do something here, folks. Bear with me a moment. This is a little crazy, but if I'm quiet for a moment, that's fine. No problem. Let me see here. I have a few touches that I got to make. All right. I think we're ready to go now. Thank you very much. Sorry about this. Should have had this taken care of at the beginning. Okay. How do you say this? The I never said that word auteur. It's about the movie auteur. I can never say the auteurist. Thank you. I'm glad you like the new channel. I'm enjoying it too. I'm spending a lot of time. I mean, the content hasn't suffered here at Mean Mr. Mayo, but the movie channel, I got to get back over there. I'm juggling 3 channels now. Let me tell you, it is a lot of work, but it's fun too. It's fun work. Mr. Blood Vessel, an AI band, just racked up 1 million downloads on Spotify. Many people believe it's a real band. I'll say this every time we talk about stuff like this with AI. Folks, this is only the tip of the iceberg. AI will ruin us. AI will destroy us. Ever since the late 90s and into the millennium, the 21st century, we've had crap. It started out with the internet and then 9/11 here in America. And then we had the phones. Then we had COVID. Now we've got AI. Let me tell you something. We're on the way down. You're not going to know what's real. You're not going to know what's fake. It is going to be a disaster. But you know what? Mankind did it to themselves. We did it to ourselves. Just like in Planet of the Apes at the end when the world's blown up. You blew it up. Damn you. Oh, the hell. Anyway. Oh, it's Richard. Hello, Richard. What's going on? I heard that Richard might be seeing Paul McCartney. Pirate Gamer Boy, hello. Yeah, Blue Steel. Blue Steel, I remember there's a movie. Is that the movie with Ron Silver and Jamie Lee Curtis? There's a movie about Jamie Lee Curtis is a cop. And I remember this guy Ron Silver was a villain. I remember that being a good movie. I think that might be it. Jennifer 8, I don't think I've seen. Hello, Chris. Greetings. I just noticed the Jaws bucket in the background. Was wondering where it'd show up. Yeah, it's there, right next to me. This way. I didn't know where else to do it. It's so stupid. I've got nowhere else to put it. Right now, I don't have a place on the shelf for it. So I didn't really know where to put the damn thing. So I took a little box here and I stuck the box on there and sat it on the ledge of the box. It's like, what more can I do? Hello, Uncle Paul. I want to say again, there's a lot of things on my plate. And one of them is to concentrate on the contacts with you, but I keep forgetting. There's somebody that's supposed to be helping me out with that. But anyway, but you got the Hey Jude Revolution picture disc. Oh yeah, I know the one you mean. I know the one. There's a 12-inch of that and a 7-inch of that. I think I have the 7-inch one. Yeah, exactly. I was wondering if John ever had any contact with George Martin after the Beatles broke up. Do we know if they kept up any kind of relationship? Well, I know that in 1974. When John was doing the WNEW New York radio appearance, he was asked about George Martin, and he said, I don't think he spent a lot of time, but he had just talked about him selling one of his studios, I think George Martin did, and that he was going to be trying to get everything and put it on a recording studio on a boat. And I remember John saying if they could balance it, find a way not to make the tapes fall in the water, it'll be great. But I get the impression that he was also asked in 1974, when was the last time you did work with him? And he said, Abbey Road. That was in 74. One more thing about George Martin. They did get together later on before John died, not too long before that, I guess maybe a couple of years, because I think George Martin was at the Dakota apartment, and that was the famous story. It's not really a happy one in the sense that it's John being John, where John was talking with George Martin, and George Martin related this story later. George Martin said they were talking at John's place and talking about Beatles recordings, and John saying how he wanted to re-record all the Beatles songs. He would have done all the Beatles songs over again if he could. And then George Martin said, he said to John, well, come on, John, we've done some good songs, right? I mean, even Strawberry Fields, would you say? And John put his glasses down and looked George Martin in the eye and said, especially Strawberry Fields. So that's John being John. But that was a story. That was late in John's life, before he was taken from us. Yeah, Paul is playing Richard Dolan's hometown. I know that. Pittsburgh, PA. I'm reading a book about Bolan and Bowie, and they are discussing the guy that turned down the Beatles before they got their big break. I bet he regretted that move for years. No doubt about that. AI is a problem, and the video generation stuff has improved within the last few months since I sent you the Muppet clips. It's improved. It is a problem. It is a huge problem. In fact, I just saw something with, I think it was Pee Wee Herman. Just happened to glance at something, and I thought it was real for a second. And I'm thinking, no, this might be AI. There's still a little something in there that you can tell it's slightly artificial. I personally think it should be a law. It should be severe criminal penalties for faking things, or not making it clear that this is an AI image or something like that. I don't know how they would enforce it. I don't know how they would let people know, how they could alert people that this is not what it seems to be. But that's what I personally feel. Stiff penalties for this. Nip it in the bud. Don't let it morph into an artificial world where we don't know who's who, what's what, what's real and what's false. I really, really think they should do something with that. Don't ask me how to do it. I'm not, I'm not in the government. I'm not on the police force. I don't know how you would do that. But for the sake of mankind, I'm hoping to, based on everyone I've talked to, I should get a ticket I can afford. I'm more concerned about it selling out an 18,000 seat venue. Do you have any advice? The only advice that I have is, if you're going to do that, which I've done a few times in my life, I never like doing that. Make sure the day of the sale, you get there early, sit at that computer, be ready, be fast. That's all you can do. That's the first thing. If by any chance it should get sold out, go through some kind of I hate to use the S word, I will, scalper. If you don't make it, there's a lot of places online. I don't know what they are because right now, because I haven't done this in 20 years, maybe something like 2005 or maybe something like that, 2011, maybe even. That's the last time I did it. But there are places where there are people who will be able to sell tickets. There's people who buy them up just to resell them. And they're not always very expensive. You wait till it gets closer to the actual day of the show. The closer it gets, the more anxious they're going to be to unload them because they don't want to get stuck with them. And then you wind up getting it cheaper. So these people who say, and a lot of people have been complaining about Paul. I saw Michael Noland had a video up, and he claims that, I think I'd heard this before, not just from Michael Noland, but I'd heard that supposedly it'll be $17,000. Get the hell out of here to sit in a front seat for Paul's show, and $500 to sit in the nosebleeds. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. All I know is everybody complains about ticket prices for Paul every single concert, every new time. And all I know is I've never had to spend anywhere near there. The most I ever spent for a ticket was maybe $200, maybe $250, which is, it's not cheap, but I've never had to go into I don't think I can ever recall. Maybe my memory doesn't serve, but I never went 500, 400. I never had to go that much. So I'm not sure. Okay. Hi, Charles. With your fake Jaws bucket, why not paint it up with blood teeth? No way. No way. No way. The famous iconic photo of the shark looking up at the swimmer doesn't have bloody teeth. No way. No way. Mr. Mixer, whatever. Hello, Mr. Mix. When I saw Paul live in 2016, I bought my ticket from his site. I got a gift comforter, gym bag, and laminated backstage pass with Paul on all. Okay, if you say so. Not sure of that. I'm really hoping we get London Town and Back to the Egg sometime in the next year or two. So am I. I always say that I'm still holding out hope. I think that the archive series will continue just because it's been several years that we haven't gotten a new McCartney archive box. I don't think that means we're never going to get any. I think you just have to wait a while and they'll put the rest out. There's no law, no rule that says if you don't do it X a number of years, they can't go back and ever do it again. And the reason I think it's going to happen is a few reasons. In the tour book of Paul, when you see him in concert, it says, look out for more archives. It still says that. And then you're talking about those Japanese CDs that came out. All Paul's albums came out recently on Japanese CDs. And they left off, they did not put out London Town or Back to the Egg, as if they're we may be like hoping they're going to put them out in special editions still. Also, because I just think that at the very least, you're going to have all the Wings albums come out. I would think that you want the Wings stuff in the 70s. Paul at least has to finish the 70s. Now, there are other albums I'd like to see get the treatment. Yes, I'd like to see Give My Regards to Broad Street get an archives. I'd like to see Press to Play get an archives, and Off the Ground. I mean, there's lots of albums after this I'd like to see, but at least finish off the 70s. At least. There is a law that AI voice robocalls are illegal. Well, they seem to happen anyway, right? They seem to be happening anyway, illegal or not. If I could meet Paul again, I'd definitely be a roadie. I'd go up and set stuff up if I met, and then you'd get to meet Paul. I agree. Regulation against the robots needs to happen before things spiral. Yeah, I don't know how you do that. George Martin helped produce the Cheap Trick album, All Shook Up, and Tom Hunyadi's here. Hey, YouTube has started to demonetize fake A1 YouTube channels. Tom, let me know if you want to come up. If you want to come up, I'll send you a link. It only costs, what's that, 15 pounds to meet him one-on-one at a Hey Grandude book signing. Yeah, I didn't go for that, but I spent $250 last time to see Paul. Well, that's maybe what you have to do, Good afternoon, Romogo. What's up? Does anyone besides me think the Japanese CDs are stupid? I don't think they're stupid. I just think it's to the point where, for me personally, and it's a completely personal decision, right? It's an individual subjective decision. I've decided that I just don't want to buy a lot more of the same things. I've got these things. I've got CDs from the US, the UK. There was a series that came out in Holland years ago. I have those. I think it was 1993. I have the archives set. I mean, come on. Then they have half-speed masters. Now they got Japanese CD. I got some colored vinyl editions of the records. I mean, I'm done with some certain things. That's all. What's going on, Richard James? What's going on? You can't make AI videos using real people's faces now. Well, I don't know about that. Oh, okay, you're working. I didn't realize this. I'm sorry, I get mixed up. Sometimes you used to be here, I think. Okay, that's no problem. I meant AI. Okay. London Town is great. Back to the Egg less so. I'll change that around. I'll flip that on you, Martin. I think Back to the Egg is great and London Town less so. Yes, I really do. You see, you got to understand something. I'm capable of giving an opinion about something, but everything should get an archive edition. I think we should get a Give My Regards to Broad Street archive edition. And in that archive edition, I would very much want to get the movie remastered. The movie needs to be remastered. just because, like in the case of like Press to Play, I don't really like that album much. Or Driving Rain, they're my two least favorite albums of Paul's. Does just because I personally don't like them doesn't mean that they don't also deserve to get the same treatment for those who do like them. I mean, I collect them all, so I want them all to get the treatment. Let's see. I have not seen anything of Ozzy's last concert. I heard from Big Mike, the guy at the record store, who he loves Black Sabbath. Black Sabbath's his favorite band, and he was telling me that he was very satisfied with that last concert that they did. And Ozzy, I know he was in a wheelchair or something, but supposedly he sounded good for him, good for Ozzy. So that's what I heard. Let's see. Do you ever eat a protein bar or any other kind of sneaky healthy treat? For me, it's not worth it. It just makes me keep wanting to eat that junk. But then I feel so deprived sometimes. Well, the thing is, those things are not as healthy as they make it out to be. I would say one of those protein bars, or those kind of, what do they call them? There's another word for protein. Granola bars, things like that. I think they're probably the lesser of the evils. If you're going to eat that crap, that's probably the lesser of the evils to have. However, it's still got sweeteners and sugar, different names. It might have sucralose in there. It might have aspartame in there. It might have other names, As far as feeling so deprived, I don't anymore because I've been doing this really pretty hardcore now for 4 months. I'm coming up on 4 months that I've been doing it hardcore. I've been doing the new diet lifestyle routine. I should say back to the old diet lifestyle routine that I used to do back when I was in my late 20s and early 30s. I've been doing that now hardcore since March, but I've been doing it all year. January to March was just half-ass, but March was serious. Anyway, what's my point? The point is that after you do this a while, it is true, you do lose desire. I do. I don't even crave any of that stuff. I don't care about pizza. I don't desire chocolate. I don't desire sugar anymore. I've come enough and I've seen enough weight drop that I'm kind of dedicated to it. So there you go. I don't feel deprived. For me personally, I really enjoyed your post regarding collecting and what happens to it after we are gone. Yes, I saw that, George, and I really appreciated your enthusiastic remark. You and I relate very much, the same feelings on that. I think the Japanese CDs are cool with their Obi strips. Well, I was collecting those half-speed mastered Paul McCartney vinyl albums just because of the Obi strips, and I finally got over that, and I said, enough. That's just me, and I decided to get rid of them. I sold the ones I had, and I stopped buying the new ones. I forget what the most, I think Venus and Mars was the most recent of the 12-inch vinyl with the Obi half-speed master. I said, no, enough. It's just my choice, let's see. Okay, London Town and Pipes of Peace are drags to listen to. Thank you. Great to see Danny again. Will that become a weekly feature? Loved it. Okay, for those who don't know, if you please subscribe to my other channel, which is right now called Thank God It's Monday. It's going to change in 4 days. I'll put a new title I'm thinking of. But anyway, go over to my lifestyle channel, and I did a talk like this. What we had Danny back again. Everybody's asking, where's Danny? Where's Danny? Well, he's back. Is it going to be a weekly feature? Right now, I'm thinking of it. I think we're going to try to get together again. If we do it right now, the date is going to be Friday mornings. Friday mornings, 8 a.m. Eastern. So get up early if you're, before work or something, if you can. We might be doing that 8 a.m. Eastern time, or catch it on a playback. Because I had a lot of fun. It's been a long time, and it was like the good old days back with Danny. And we may do that. I figure it fits on that other channel good too, because you're talking about two guys don't work anymore. They're in the world. They're dealing with, being in their 60s and that kind of thing. So I thought it would be maybe good as a regular feature. Yeah, that's true. That's true, James. I think the real holdup with London Town back today is the Denny Lane estate. That's what people have said. I've heard that too. Uh, I've heard that the Denny Lane estate is holding it up. I'm a Broad Street fan. Don't hold it against me. No way, I won't. I was listening to Back to the Egg just before this. It has been years since I played it. Yeah, I'd like to see that album get a little more love. I'd like to see it get a reappraisal. And Richard, I know Richard loves Driving Rain, so he'd love a Driving Rain archive. And then Chris would too, apparently. Well, I checked on that a little while. There might be two fake Richards then, but I mean, there might be one real and one fake, but one of them is real. Let's put it that way. I checked on it. I know I'm much younger than you, but for me, I feel like personally, I don't care what burden I put on others with my collection. I probably live alone by the time that comes anyway. Exactly. I didn't come out in that video. I did a video at my other channel about, thank God it's Monday, where I basically said that, but I didn't want to come out and be that crass about it. Basically saying, I don't give a damn what happens to other people. I don't care if I die tomorrow and this collection here, my girlfriend has to decide what to do with it. She's stuck with it, like the burden of getting rid of it. We just talked about it, and guess what? We're on the same page, she and I, about a lot of things. And she said the same thing. She collects a lot of stuff too. She has another room for her, and she says the same thing. You know, she was like, "Screw that." She goes, you know, she doesn't care. She said, and I don't care. Tough. She said, if I die, tough. I don't, I'm sorry. That's a video that I made, and I want to know what I'm mumbling here about it, but check it out. The idea basically is I'm going to keep having what I want in here. There's actually people, I've heard many times, people who have decided that they're going to start downsizing what they have and get rid of stuff, not just because they're getting older, which is fine. I'm getting rid of some stuff because I'm getting older, but not because I don't want to saddle my friends and family with it, and loved ones with it. You're on your own. I don't care what you will do. That's I'm not going to do without it just for that. It's not that I don't care. It is a dilemma. It's a dilemma having to deal with people's belongings when they pass. They got so much stuff. But what I'm supposed to do without fun and collectibles and treasures in this lifestyle now, where it counts when we're alive? Because one day I won't be here, then somebody else is going to have to spend a day or maybe a week or a couple of weeks trying to figure out how to call junk removal or something and get the stuff back. Whatever. I don't care. You know what I mean? You follow me at all? Check that video out, please. It's an interesting video. I like your opinions over there. You can write the opinions under it. It's my latest video on the channel. Okay, the last Black Sabbath concert was amazing. Sabbath was great. Ozzy was great in his solo set. Here we go. If we're going to start this, this kind of thing is what I won't have. This Richard wants to know why sometimes I have to block him. Stuff like this. I'm not the fake Richard. Send me a link and I'll prove it. I'm not going to have my chats, disrupted by this kind of thing. I'm just not. I'm not going to go back and forth. I'm the real one. No, I'm the real one. I prove it. That's not what this discussion is about. It's not what my live streams are about. Like I said before, if it's anybody else, what you have to do is you got to take it up with them. It's not my problem. Okay, and you love your Obies. 2025 might be the last normal year for everyone, as far as I'm concerned. Like 1989 was the last normal year for everybody, as far as I'm concerned. But I get what you mean. Well, this question, would John Lennon have toured in 1981? I've always figured in my mind, what I understood, that John Lennon said he'd like to tour again if things go well, and then he would like to tour in 1981. but I don't ever recall it being that far along. However, and I forget what the source was, but there was a source recently, and somebody will tell me who it was, that actually had a set list or an idea or something. There was actually the touring for John in 1981 actually supposedly, allegedly, was far more along than he ever hinted at and that I ever thought. So it looks like he probably would have. But all he ever said is the day he was killed, actually, was the actual day he was killed, December 8th, 1980, when he did the earlier in the day interview with RKO radio team. He actually did say, if we can be accepted as John and Yoko, if we can go out there, enjoy the music, enjoy the performances, and be accepted this way, I'd be happy to go out there. That's all he said about it. And somebody and I remember he said when I was making the album, him and the musicians were like, "This is so much fun. Let's take it on the road." And he said, "That's the first time I thought." He said, "My, this would be fun, wouldn't it?" So it looked like it was a thought. You know what I mean? Like an idea. Hello, Scott. How are you? Is Tug of War great? I think so, but Tug of War is one of the great McCartney albums. I think. I remember when it was released, it was a big smash. It was considered a masterpiece by Rolling Stone. Said Paul's masterpiece, and it was a big album for Paul, very successful. Now, if you want to say now, all these decades later, that maybe, what is it, 40 years? 40 something years later, Tug of War maybe doesn't hold up as powerfully as it did then. That's a valid argument. What's the weakest John song on Revolver and the weakest Paul song on Revolver? I have to think a while now. Does John have a weak song? I don't think John. I can't think of any weak John songs on Revolver. Actually, if I had to pick one, I'd have to think about it. Try to remember them all. I probably would say I'm Only Sleeping. I know that's going to drive people nuts, but I love the other ones a little more. And for Paul, I'm thinking of all the songs from Paul. I assume you're talking about vocals. Like, you're not talking about Yellow Submarine because it was written by them. You're talking about, trying to think. Oh, Good Day Sunshine. How could I forget? I mean, I like Good Day Sunshine. Don't get me wrong. I like it. But it's a little too la-di-da compared to some of the other songs. If it's the Denny Lane estate, then move on and release a different one. Yeah, if it's the Denny Lane estate, then put out another archive. David Gilmour is on Back to the Egg. Enough said. I did not see the Da Vinci Code. Did not see it. Hello, Bradley. No singing here. No singing here. You got me on a good day the other day, Friday, when I was with Danny. You got me. I sang a little bit for you. And I don't want to lose everybody with my lousy voice. I'm more worried about my original music that I have on cassettes that I haven't done anything with yet. Okay. Sometimes I think For Me to You is a better song than either She Loves You or I Want to Hold Your Hand. Am I right? It's just a matter of opinion. For me, you're dead wrong. No way. She Loves You is good. She Loves You and I Want to Hold Your Hand. I'm much better than For Me to You, in my opinion. Hello, James. I don't think either of them have it. Well, see, that's the problem. I don't think any of this, people do this all the time. I don't think any of the songs are weak either. I don't think any of them. But when you're trying to have some fun and you kind of say, well, if you had to pick one out of them, which is your least favorite, it's not, maybe that's not weak, but it's the less of if there's like 5 songs, pick the least of it. People should be able to do that. They don't have any weak tracks. No, they don't. I have not seen Popeye the Slayer Man yet, although it's a movie that's on my list. That subgenre of children's cartoons and fairy tales that are now turned into horror movies. Well, I much prefer, of course, I much prefer the UK British album of Revolver, of course. I've said this many times that, of course, if you take the album just on its own, the only version is the UK version. But I also respect the American version that's missing a few tracks, because in America, we already got those first on the Beatles Yesterday and Today album. Some of the John songs debuted on that. So when it came time for the Americans to put out Revolver, we already got those, so they left them off. So anyway, is my answer for that. Favorite Woody Allen films: not Take the Money and Run. Forget that. Play It Again, Sam, Hannah and Her Sisters, Crimes and Misdemeanors, Husbands and Wives, Broadway Danny Rose. I could go on a long time. We're going to see how this goes right now. I answered this a little earlier. Right now, I'm planning to go on probably Friday again. Those Danny shows are not going to be here. For anybody who doesn't know, I'm trying to, raise awareness to my new channel. Right now, you can go over there. It's called Thank God It's Monday. That's going to be changing soon in about 5 days, to another title. But you'll be subscribed over there, so it doesn't matter. And I'm going to be putting content there that's not here. Just again, to reiterate, I don't mind promoting this every chance I get because it's important to me. Any more rant videos, if I'm ranting, some of you like the rant videos, Rancid Mayo. If you do, it's going to be over there. Not going to be over here. I'm not going to delete. I deleted some of the rant videos from here and moved them over there. But I'm going to stop doing that. Okay, because there's reasons why I don't think it turned out to be such a good idea for the algorithm to delete things. So I'm going to just start fresh, pretty much over here. And as I often say, if I have to do a rant video, and the rant video is pertaining to music or the Beatles or entertainment like that fits here, I'll keep it here. But most of my rant videos are about life in general, waiting on long lines, dealing with incompetence, waiters that make mistakes, doctors that screw up, all that kind of stuff is life problems in life, in the world. And that's over on my other channel, the retirement channel, the life channel. Okay, so that's how I'm looking at that. No, I'm not going to end up with 10 channels. I love how people think, you're a screwball, Mr. Blood Vessel. I love you, but you're a screwball. You know what I mean? I'm not going to wind up with 10 channels. Let's see. Come on. Let's see. Going back. I saw Macca live in 2017, and a family member saw him live in 2023. Did his voice change in that time? It's hit and miss with him. That's all I could say, Can't wait for Happy Gilmore 2 to come out. I didn't even see the first Happy Gilmore. How are Danny and Robin? Well, you'll have to find out for yourself. If they saw Paul in 2023, it's about then it actually got a little better. Well, I think he sounds really bad now. Okay, I don't know. There were times I saw him. I watched the Glastonbury concert in 2022, and I thought he sounded pretty good in that concert. I remember thinking at the time that should be his last performance, but then he went on, and I thought that in recent times he sounded pretty poor, and that's my honest opinion. But as I say, when you go to see Paul McCartney, you're going to see the legend, the Beatle. You're going there to enjoy the experience and have a good time just being with the main man. You're not going there to expect him to sound like he did, in 1964 or even 2004. You know, let's see. I do think you should preserve the rants here, in my opinion. Well, I appreciate your opinion. Thank you. Which Beatles B-sides are better than the A-sides? That would take some thinking. Most of the time, the Beatles B-sides and A-sides are great, both of them. But the first one that comes to mind is "I Am the Walrus" is much better than "Hello Goodbye." That's the first one. I do like Woody Allen's movie Manhattan Murder Mystery. That's another thing. Please subscribe to my other channel, Mr. Cinemayo. This one I'll put up here on the bottom. Mr. Cinemayo is my movie channel. We have a movie discussion like this. I'm usually here with Tim Allen and Tom Hunyadi, and sometimes Aaron joins us, Aaron Badgley, whoever's available at the time. We do this Monday evenings live, Monday evenings, different times. So check that channel out as well. I think Teddy Boy is a really, really sappy song. I'm really not a fan of Teddy Boy, the song. Should it have been on there? Maybe it should have been, in a way, but I'm glad it wasn't. You know, you could argue that it was a song that Paul had at the time that maybe should have appeared on there, but, you know, I'm not really... you can't find the new channel. That makes sense in a way. You know what you do? If you can't find the channel, I can't drop a link right now, but what you do is type in... That's right. That makes sense, because it's not easy to find. But if you put in I don't know, something like Mayo, put Mayo in there. Mayo, thank God it's Monday, or something like that. Put the name Mayo in there, or Mr. Mayo, and you might find it. You got to add that to it. I have struggled with deciding if "Here Comes the Sun" or "Something Is Better." I now think it's "Here Comes the Sun." Well, that's impossible, because they're both great. I think those are George's two best songs he ever wrote, probably. So it's really very difficult. These days, I'm more partial to hearing "Here Comes the Sun." I'd rather hear "Here Comes the Sun" on the radio than hear "Something" again on the radio. But the real Jaws popcorn holder is cool. I'm not into Jaws, but it's cool. If you want to know what that's about, check this channel out on the bottom, scrolling by here, Mr. Cinemayo, and you will see it. I got two different Jaws so-called popcorn buckets, and I'm not using them for popcorn. Just using them as display pieces. There it is. Saw Paul in Jersey, 9/12/17. Great show, great seats. Voice was already getting shaky on the ballad. Still a memory my daughter and I will always cherish. And that's the thing. You know, people generally who go to the show come out having a great time, myself included. You know, I find that I have to be honest about it. I'm not going to say the man sounds great. I'm not going to say he's even sounds good sometimes. But it's always been an up and down thing. There are times when I see him and his voice is really, really better than I would have expected. And then there's times when I think, that was rough, man. It might be time to concentrate on studio albums. You know, work in the studio, stop singing live. I've been both, but all the time, regardless, I still think it's a real experience, a positive experience seeing him. So it's about as honest as I can be about it. I don't know if I'm ever going to visit England at this point. I'd like to think one day I will, if I have the money. And I certainly have the time now. Yeah. Can't believe I've never seen Happy Gilmore. Believe it, Richard. Believe it. Believe it. Never seen the Blues Brothers either. But, you know, you realize I could sit here and rattle off, 1,721 movies none of you have seen either. So I don't see the point. Okay. Everybody here there's movies that people haven't seen. I don't get that. I don't know why it's a big deal. If I'd never seen A Hard Day's Night or Help, then I could understand you raising an eyebrow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, the Jaws fake one. I got a fake Jaws popcorn bucket. If you and it smelled pretty bad. I mean, it just had a real rancid smell to it. It smelled like bad plastic or paint chips or something. I bet you if you put the popcorn in there, you'd probably get sick, die. Oh, you get on Skyscanner, look for some cheap flights. You can come anytime. Well, it's not just the flights; it's also the room and board, and other stuff too. Just think, if I'm there, Peter, I could say, "Hey, say hello to Peter Boothroyd and raise a glass," right? Yeah, that's the idea. Sleep on the streets of London to avoid hotel costs. Well, I hear it rains a lot, though. Wouldn't want to get rained on too much. Invaders from Mars is okay. It's a 1950s movie. I'm not overly familiar with it. I've seen it a couple of times. It's a classic of sorts, but it's not a personal favorite. It's okay though. I saw Paul in 2014. He was incredible. 2016 was when I really started to notice a difference. By 2018, it was shot. With your channel name, which song do you prefer, Mean Mr. Mustard or Polythene Pam? I prefer Mean Mr. Mustard. From way back when I first heard Abbey Road, I liked that little ditty, even though, of course, this is a short, you know, piece of a song. Really, it's not a finished song. For Beatles movies, I've seen Help, Magical Mystery Tour, and Yellow Sub. Never a Hard Day's Not Let It Be Yet. This is a problem, I know. Yes, you're right. It is a problem. But you're still young, so you have plenty of time, I hope. So please remedy that. Okay, I'm pretty caught up right now, and there's no comments coming, but I'm sure they will. I appreciate it. That's for 48 minutes straight. Just we had constant comments. It's rare where you can catch your breath here, so to speak, and just wait with the scrolling. And that's where we're at. Well, when they did the rooftop show, what song should they have played instead of Dig a Pony? I'm thinking here. Thinking. I know there's one. If I had to pick a song over I Dig a Pony on the Rooftop, Old Brown Shoe. George's Old Brown Shoe. Nope. I have no immediate interest in spinning that vinyl. None at all. The main reason I bought it was just as a collector to have all the George Harrison vinyl albums that are released officially. Yeah. But I still say things may be different, one of these days. They may be different. If I ever move out of here, I can play the turntable louder. Hello, Penny Lane. Thank you for joining us here. No, I've never felt that Wings should be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. No, I've never felt that. You know, It's just me. I know a lot of people think that and not because they're not good enough or anything like that. It's just because all these different incarnations, the same people, like, McCartney's been in there, as the Beatles. He's been in there as a solo artist. Now he's going to be in there with Wings. I don't know. I think the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is a joke now. I'm one of those people who think it's a joke. It's a disgrace. It was once reputable, but not anymore. Red and Blue was my first big introduction. I think I really started more with the Rock and Roll Music album compilation, which is right behind me here. See that? Rock and Roll Music. You see it there? There it is. I think that was more my first big introduction. But then again, don't forget, I was listening to the Beatles when I was in the 60s, when I was like 3, 4, 5, 6 years old anyway. Yeah, I did pick up a used copy of Born to Boogie, and I bounced around. I like all the scenes with Ringo on the drums with Elton. Yeah, but I didn't watch the whole thing. I paid a little over $60 myself for a new 2 vinyl set from Japan recently. Most I've ever spent on a record, but I really don't regret it, to be honest. It's a wonderful package with a gatefold, poster, etc. Yeah, I think $60 for a 2 record set is insane, no matter how you look at it. But sometimes you got to pay up, depending if you want it. As I say in my new video, when I bought the George Harrison compilation "Let It Roll" that just came out yesterday, I got lucky because I had money off. I had a gift card, and I had hole punches. They give you like a card where if you get a whole card of holes punched, you wind up getting $15 off. So I wound up paying $34 with tax for something that probably would have been 60 something dollars otherwise. I think this is a great idea. How about thumbs up? How about thumbs up? How about thumbs up? Much appreciated. Yeah, hit the like button. You know the story. I predict one day, Hard Day's Night 2, AI. I hope you're wrong, but you might be right. Christopher Plummer, I'd have to see a list of all his movies to tell you the truth. I mean, I'm sure I've got a few of them, but I can't think right now. It's not the ones you would think. If All Things Must Pass, the song, had been a Beatles song, what would George have called his album? Yeah, Let It Roll. Another cool thing to see is the Rock and Roll Circus with John, Yoko, The Who, and the Rolling Stones. Yes. The name of the new channel is presently called Thank God It's Monday, but if you type that in, Thank God It's Monday, it's going to be hard to find. It won't come up. But put in like Mr. Mayo, put in Mayo, Mayo Monday, or even Retirement Mayo. Something to do with retirement or retired Mayo, something with Mayo in the title, and I'm sure some videos will pop up. Yes, I do own a number of Yoko Ono albums. Some of them I've heard and like. Some of them I've yet to play. My favorite Vincent Price film is Cheating because it's a movie from Universal called The Invisible Man Returns, where Vincent Price is one of his first horror movies, and he really isn't seen. He's the Invisible Man in it, so you don't really see him except at the end when he transforms back into the human form. But other ones are like House of Wax, one of my favorite Vincent Price horror movies. House on Haunted Hill, one of my favorite Vincent Price horror movies. I hope you're able to find the channel. I really am, because I know right now I tried it myself and it wasn't easy to find, you know. Let me just see, those who still might not be able to find it, who are looking, what an idea here I have. Give me a second here. If you put Mayo in there, you should be able to find it. Yeah, here, put this. Yeah, put this in, right. Thank God it's Monday, Mayo. Add Mayo to the end. Yeah. Thank you, Pirate Gamer. Hi, Wes. It's so horrible that George tried to sue Ringo, his lifelong friend, over a song, even though he had more money than he could ever spend. Despicable behavior, in my opinion. Well, the funny thing is, I mean, it's not really funny, but if you want, humorous thing is the idea that the Beatles sued each other. They had to sue each other. The sue me, sue you blues, right? You know, and they both had a laugh about it. You know, when you watch that 1988 Aspel, Aspel, Aspel and Company interview with Ringo and George together on the show, they both laugh about it. They have a laugh about it. So, well, I think you just, you know, I don't know if you're just pulling my leg or whatever, you know, with this. I mean, come on. I'm not going to go there. Sounds like what happened with Hall and Oates, too. Is Walls and Bridges the best post-Imagine Lennon album? If you're asking my opinion, in my opinion, yes, Walls and Bridges is the best post-Imagine Lennon album. But as a fact, that's totally a matter of opinion. So that's my opinion. Nope. Hey, I got an idea, Romo. I think you always ask me this. How about you send me a free complimentary copy of it? Would you do that for me? Buy me the set, preferably on Blu-ray, and send it to my address at my store that I go to. No. You know how much stuff I have? Do you have any idea how much stuff I have to watch? I bought all the Tales from the Crypt seasons. I watched 2. I bought Twilight Zone 5 seasons. I've only got I never finished the whole thing yet. I could go on and on. Different things. Anthony Quinn. I actually like the movie Barabbas. Barabbas is an Anthony Quinn movie I like a lot, religious movie, and also a comedy movie with John Candy called Only the Lonely. I've been bombarded with the same questions I've answered 15,000 times already. Now I know how the Beatles felt on a very small scale. I'm not comparing myself to them. Do I still drink tea? Not as much as I was, no. I was thinking of getting into green tea. There's a certain kind of green tea, and I forget the name of it. Matcha or something like that. And it's a powdered green tea. And then I heard that it causes kidney stones. So I want to avoid kidney stones, so I'm afraid to have the tea. Twilight Zone season 1 to 3. I know later on the episodes get a lot longer. First they were a half hour long, right? Then they become an hour long. So that's a problem. Can you get the documentary Jaws at 50 on Blu-ray and not 4K? All I know about that is I bought the new edition that came out. It's the 4K and Blu-ray edition, and if you buy that, yes, it's a Blu-ray. The Jaws at 50 is on the Blu-ray, not on the 4K. If you get the dual pack. Season 4 was an hour long. Then it went back to a half hour for season 5. Gotcha. Only the Lonely is so good. The banter between him and his mother. Yes, it's very good. It's my favorite John Candy movie. Highly recommended. Only the Lonely. Yeah. I really do like it. And when you say his mother in this, it's Maureen O'Hara. Maureen O'Hara, really, really fine actress. She's really good in there. Same Maureen O'Hara that you know from Miracle on 34th Street. I've never been a fan of the show MASH. Can you believe it? I mean, I love 1970s TV, but I never really liked MASH. You know, I think I liked the movie MASH okay, though. I saw the movie MASH. Da, 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 da. Yeah, I know what you mean, Pirate Gamer Boy. Unaliving is painless. What a stupid world we live in. I'm not a fan of Andy. I don't know. I don't know why I don't like Andy Griffith. They would think I would love it. I love Don Knotts. Andy Griffith is a nice guy. I like Ron Howard. I like old black and white sitcoms. I don't know why I don't love it. I prefer Godfather 1 over Godfather 2, definitely. They're both good together as a pair, but I prefer first Godfather. All right. MASH is the worst. We used to joke that when you stayed home sick, that was all that was on TV. My mom, when I was extremely young, would watch the Andy Griffith Show all the time. One of my earliest memories. Yeah, I don't know why I don't love that show. I don't know why. You would think it would be the right kind of like 50s era sitcom that I like. Whistling the Mash song. Um, no, never seen Pleasantville. I've heard decent things about it. Do you like Godfather 3 though? I like it. My boyfriend doesn't. Well, Godfather 3 is clearly, in my opinion, and most people's opinions, the weakest of the three. But I like it enough because what I like about it is it's the comeuppance of Michael Corleone. It's about Al Pacino's character never able to redeem himself. He wants really badly to redeem himself of his misdoings and his sins in a way, but he can never break free. As you know, what they say when whenever I try to get out, they pull me back in, and all this, and it's kind of tragic. And he has to suffer all kinds of things, like the death of his daughter, all the things associated because of where he went. He gets his comeuppance, and I like at the end how he just shrivels up, falls over, and dies alone on a chair at the end and stuff like that. So it's the weakest of the trilogy, and I think Sofia Coppola is terrible in it. I really wish Sofia Coppola hadn't been in it. Originally, Winona Ryder was supposed to be in it, and I thought at the time Winona Ryder was so cute. I was a Winona Ryder guy in that regard, and I would have liked Winona Ryder to have been in there instead. Yeah, the actual Herman Munster makeup is closer to that, but it's really kind of pale white. You could see what he looks like if you watch the movie Munster Go Home. They made Munster Go Home in color. Funny, I just watched a movie that I love, rewatched it with my friend Anthony. It's a movie with Al Pacino and Robin Williams and Hilary Swank, and it's called Insomnia. Insomnia is one of my very favorite Al Pacino movies. And I love Al Pacino way more than, say, Robert De Niro. There was a cut of the three Godfather films exclusively on Laserdisc that edited the three films together as if they were one massively long film. Should She's a Woman have been on Beatles for Sale and Mr. Moonlight been a B-side? Hey, look, the way I look at it is I'll stick with the United States Capitol Records, Beatles 65. That way you get She's a Woman, I Feel Fine, and also Mr. Moonlight. Yeah, Heather's is probably the first time I saw Winona Ryder, I think. Dragnet, Adam 12, Streets of San Francisco, my absolute faves. You got me, another movie I don't know. Scent of a Woman is a great movie. The thing is, this guy calling himself DJT forever. I don't really do politics here, but there's nothing in it. The title's not, I'll leave you, let you come up with the title. But the thing is, we can't really talk about this, so I'm going to delete that comment. Okay. No, I don't want to be talking about that. Scent of a Woman is a great movie. I agree with you. I've never seen that. I know there was the movie about a John Lennon letter, and I've never seen it. And with Pacino, I've never seen it though. It's funny. My boyfriend says he doesn't like Godfather 3, but he's always quoting from it. Yeah, well, that's the most classic line, right? They pull me back in. Yeah, I've definitely heard about that Lennon letter story. Yeah. I'm an Australian and I'm currently in Uganda. I don't care. We're still not going to talk about politics here. Like I said, the name is hard. Your name is innocent enough just with, the way you wrote it, but I don't want to get into politics. Beverly Hillbillies, it's funny, that's another show I've never loved. I think Ellie Mae is hot, but other than that, yeah, I like women. What can I tell you? Yeah, I really want. They're currently playing Beverly Hillbillies all over MeTV every night. And once in a while, I try to get into it a little more. But every time I've seen an episode, I don't think it's so great. But I don't like Gilligan's Island either. What can I tell you? Go straight to the source and ask the horse. He'll give you the answer that you'll endorse. Yep. Talk to Mr. Ed. I got so much stuff to watch. What am I doing here? I got so much stuff to watch, so much stuff to listen to. Because I love being here with you people, and I love taking comments, and I love the feedback, and I love YouTube and doing my thing. So that explains it. That explains it. Bad Take. Author is a great movie. I need to give that another look. I saw Author in the movies, and I was only 20 years old, and it was playing, so I went to see it. I don't remember a damn thing about it, but I've heard that it's not that good. Green Acres, again, we could take it or leave. I could take it or leave it. Green Acres, But Author, I did see it in 1982. I used to go to movies every week. There was always something with an actor I liked in it, or something halfway at least worth seeing. I can't whistle for shit. All right, are we near the end of the line for today? Are we near the end of the line? What do you think? A few more comments, or should I close up shop? All right. I'm going to close up shop this week. Okay, folks, before I go, I want to thank you all for being here. And if a few more comments trickle in, maybe I'll address them. But I want to again promote my other channels. First of all, movies, television, Mr. Cinemayo. Okay, look it up, subscribe. I do live shows there too. Every Monday, I do a live movie discussion show, just movies and television. And I'm joined by Tim Allen and Tom Hunyadi as they can make it. Sometimes Aaron Badgley. He joined me for one show so far. And that's Mr. Cinemayo. Okay. And the show is going to be Monday night. I say Monday night. Sometimes it's Monday late afternoon. You never know what time I'm going to do the movie show. It could be late afternoon, early evening. But just stay tuned, and the ad will be up. I'll advertise when I'm doing it. And then, of course, the newest channel. If you want to access it, you have to type it in all this. You have to put in, thank God it's Monday. And then at the end, just put Mayo. Thank God it's Monday, Mayo at the end of it. And you'll get access to it. And please subscribe, because I'm going to be doing a weekly show probably with Danny. You remember Danny, my friend Danny? We just did a show for the first time in a long time. I like to see you all there. The Danny shows will be over on that channel, okay? The solo things with me here. I may do solo things over there too. The bottom line is, and I fully admit that what I'm saying here is a way to get you roped in, that you want to subscribe to all the channels, but you never know what's going to be where, because some of the shows and programs that were here for so long are now going over to my newest channel. Me, Mr. Jesus, with Mayo at the end. Thank God it's Monday, Mayo. You put that in that way. Yeah. So there may be certain hangouts with my friend Anthony that'll go over there now. I'll be having some Anthony videos here. I'll have some Anthony videos there. I'll be doing all my rant videos. If you like rants at Mayo, when I can't take this world anymore and it's driving me crazy and I want to vent, that's all over on the other channel now. So, yeah, there's something for everybody everywhere, and you never know what's going to appear where. So I thank you for being here. Talk to you all soon, and I hope to see you on my other channels. And I hope to see you here again next Saturday. So, cheerio.